Streaming server. All right, done. Ha ha ha. We are live. It almost reminded me of that show live on Saturday night. I don't know where that came from. Everybody, it is 30 interviews in 30 days. Woohoo! Today is day 12. And this is a day I have literally been waiting for. I've been waiting for yes, I can't wait. And I have Dr. Cheryl Empowers. It's actually Dr. Cheryl Woods, but her Instagram is Cheryl Empowers. But I want you to make sure you go to Dr. Cheryl Empowers. It says Cheryl Empowers, right, on Instagram?
Yep, Cheryl Empowers.
Cheryl Empowers. She is an international motivational speaker, and she is here today to impart some great knowledge into you. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you so much first of all, kudos for doing 30 interviews in 30 days. When you first told me about the vision, I was like, well, Lord be with you and amen and hallelujah, because you're going to be putting in some work. So I love when women have this vision, this big vision, and they're willing to just go for it. So kudos to you. And thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the vision was sometimes we get in our own way.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a person who gets in my own way and I will procrastinate. So this is supposed to, I don't want to use the 10X, but this is supposed to 10X me to make sure I do more than I was supposed to do and more than I have to do. So this is supposed to get out my own way. And also I get to connect with awesome, amazing women like you. So tell me, you are an international motivational speaker. How did you get your start? We just talked about this on Instagram, but let's have for this viewer. How did you get started?
Yeah. So I always say, I was just a regular girl, regular woman living a regular life, working a full-time job, 9 to 5. For 15 years, I worked in corporate America as a legal secretary, y'all. I don't know how I did that for so long when everything about my energy and my spirit says, girl, you should be running your mouth somewhere and getting paid for it. But I didn't know that at the time. I think we all do what we know how to do and what we feel like we're good at. And sometimes we get stuck in that space. And that was me. And I really had reached a point in my life where I was dissatisfied and I was frustrated because I was a mother of 3. And I really wanted more time freedom to be able to spend with my children, to really immerse my principles, my morals, my values into them. And I really couldn't do that because I was dropping them off at 6 a.m, not picking them up till 6 p.m, racing off to a corporate job that didn't make me feel amazing, didn't make me feel I was creating legacy. And I just think it was the frustration of that chaotic cycle that really pushed me into wanting to explore something different. Now, I didn't just jump into speaking. That was the thing. I started off with a t-shirt business. And that was simply because I knew I had to disrupt what was normal for me. And I didn't know the how. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. It didn't just magically fall upon me that I was supposed to be a speaker. I said, all right, but you got to do something different than you've ever done before. So in 2009, I started this t-shirt business. It was a mommy t-shirt business because I love being a mom. So all of my t-shirts had slogans about celebrating motherhood and celebrating women and everything that we give to the world. I did that for a year and a half while still working my full-time gig as a legal secretary. And a year and a half into it, I got a phone call from Morgan State University, unexpected, completely out of the blue. I did not expect it. They had heard about the t-shirt business. Imagine if I had never started the t-shirt business. They said, wow. we heard about the t-shirt business. We love what you're doing. Would you be willing to come in and speak at our women's conference and teach other moms in the Baltimore community how to start their own businesses? And you know what I did? I laughed, Shelly. I was like, clearly y'all have dialed the wrong number. You are not looking for me. I'm not a speaker. I didn't feel qualified. I'm like, what? Y'all must have dialed. You must be looking for somebody else. But I think that's what happens when you start moving. You're in motion, doors of opportunity will open up that you never even could foresee happening. And that's when you have to give yourself permission to take the next step, which is to say yes more than you say no, even when you feel unqualified. So I said yes. It was September 18th, 2010. I remember it like it was yesterday. I walked in there like I had been speaking forever, even though I was nervous. My palms were sweating. I had knots in my stomach, but I showed up the way I wanted to be viewed. And I was like, just be the authentic you and just speak into these women's lives about what you've done and where you are and where you're headed and your big dreams, because that's going to resonate with them. Lo and behold, it worked. And it was on that day at Morgan State University at that women's conference that I discovered that was the thing I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And as they say, the rest has been history. I've been putting in the grit and the grind and the hustle and showing up, even when I don't really feel like showing up, and staying up later than I want to, getting up earlier than I want to, and planting those seeds. Or as I tell every client that I work with, plant so many seeds that you lose count. So I've planted so
Ooh.
many seeds that I feel like I'm in a space now where the harvest is coming in.
Absolutely. I think that is amazing. And when you say something like that, when you say the grind is when I saw her, I saw Dr. Cheryl on Lisa Nichols. She had like this few days of speakers, and I'm one after the other. You know, you're sitting there for a while, but somehow you pop on the screen, and I'm like, I'm all in 10. I'm all there. I'm like, yes, she's speaking to me. She's speaking to me. I feel her. She's speaking to me. And I'm like, all right. But they on there, you didn't really get to, you got to go investigate to find out who you are. Like you could see the name, but to follow you, and I was like, oh, I got to go investigate a little more. So I go ahead, I find your Instagram. But then this very, very next day, I mean, literally the very next day, you're on Sisters in Business speaking. And I said, there she is again. I said, and then I had a conversation with Tamara. Shout out to Tamara. She said, did you like it? And she was saying, do you like it? I said, I did like it. She said, but I really like Dr. Cheryl Empowers. I said, me too. And we're both saying the same exact thing. And then sooner than later, then we connect. I said, so when you say just do it, say yes, go for it, get out the way. It happens for you. It really can. And doors open up for you. So you get on the stage, you say you want to become a speaker, and you say you can just do it. How did you take it to the next level? What was the next step after that?
So after that first speaking opportunity, that's when I knew there was something that was awakened in me that I had never experienced before. And I wanted to feel more of that. But it wasn't just what was awakened in me. It was what I saw happening in the room for the women who were listening to me. Their eyes got a little bit bigger. There was this new energy in their spirit, like, okay, if she can do it, so can I. And I love that. I love that I got to feel fulfilled, and I got to speak life into the dreams and possibilities of other women. And I was like, I always want to feel like this. So really at the top of that next year, I made a decision. And I'm gonna throw in this quote because it's a quote I use often by Tony Robbins. And the quote goes like this: a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there is no new action, you have not truly decided. So I say I decided to be a speaker at the top of 2011 because my actions aligned with me saying I wanted to be a speaker. I started introducing myself as a speaker. I started telling people this is what I do. I got business cards that said I was a speaker, even though I was still in the learning and growing process. And anybody who would have me, I would come and speak. So the two things I focused on in that next full year from 2011 to 2012 was experience and exposure. I needed experience speaking on stages, speaking in front of various audiences, knowing what it felt like to be able to control the environment of the room, knowing what it was like to master the skill set of what I'm going to say, when I'm going to say it, starting to learn things like persuasive language. Like there's so much that's a part of really being a masterful speaker. And I wanted that experience. So for an entire year, anybody who would have me, I would speak. And I did it for free, because I wanted to be the best I could be, which meant I needed to be in front of live audiences. So that experience plus the exposure that came with it, because the more stages I was on, the more people were like, well, who is this girl? Who is Cheryl? I wasn't even Dr. Cheryl Wood at the time. It was Cheryl Wood. Who is this Cheryl Wood person that keep popping up everywhere? She here, she there, she at this networking event, she on this stage. I wanted that buzz to be created because I knew that buzz was going to lead to greater visibility, which was going to lead to greater opportunities for people to say, well, let me check her out. Let me go to her social media. Let me look at her speaker demo or her speaker reel or where she's spoken at before. And that got me into more platforms that got my voice heard on a more global basis.
I think that is amazing. But did you go to get coaching, or did you go to any training classes? Did you align with anybody else?
So initially, no. So I grew up in the inner city of Baltimore, Maryland. I grew up in Lafayette Projects in Baltimore, Maryland. Child, we didn't know nothing about no coaching. When you grow up in the hood in a 13-story high-rise building, all you try to do is survive. You are not talking about thriving and growing, and you don't hear words like professional development and personal development. Like, that's not what you learn in the hood. You learn how to just do some grit and grind so that you can survive. So that's where my mindset still was. I didn't know about this whole new world of coaching. And then when I found out how much coaching costs, I was like, oh, they have lost their mind. So I had to learn the power of coaching and investing in myself. I had to learn to appreciate and value that someone else could be 10 or 20 or 30 steps ahead of where I was, and that I was enough. I was worth investing in me so that I could get access to their knowledge and their resources to move forward. So initially, I just read a lot of books. I mean, Barnes and Noble was my best friend at the time. Like, I stayed in the bookstore. I read and I read and I read, and I networked very, very extensively. I connected with people. And then there were people like Peggy Morris of Sisters for Sisters Network. I always shout her out because she was one of the first people who saw more greatness in me as a speaker than I saw in myself. Like, I still was questioning, was I good enough? Who was going to listen to this girl, this little Black girl from the hood? Who was going to listen to the girl who didn't have a college degree? Like, there were so many strikes I felt that were against me that I didn't know if I would be able to be really massively successful as a speaker. But when you have other women, and I'm specifically saying women, because women have a way of uplifting and elevating each other when we make that decision to do that. People like Peggy Morris and the Sisters for Sisters Network organization, that she would invite me in and say, Cheryl, you need to come in. I had a book at the time. It was my very first book. So come in to our Sunday meeting. They would have a meeting once a month and talk to the sisters, share a message, open your book up and read from your book, and then have a conversation with them. And she would do that over and then she would let me sell my books. So she was really the first one that exposed me to the greatness that I hadn't even known that was inside of me yet. And that was so, so important. So it was those opportunities that built confidence in me. And then the better I got at it and more people were like, you're really good, I really wanted to master it. I didn't want people to just say I was good. I wanted to know I was good. That's when I started hiring coaches. And over time, every year I would hire a new coach. All right, let me hire this coach. And some of them were business coaches, not necessarily speaking coaches. Some were business coaches so that I could learn how to function and run a business. Some of them were personal development coaches so that I could work on my internal languaging and talking to myself so that I would know I was worth it. And then I got to a place of ultimately where I was able to coach with people like Lisa Nichols. And that was like, you know, the upper echelon of coaching, but it also came with a big, hefty investment that I had to be ready for at that time. So yeah, coaching has been very valuable. Signing up and going to conferences, being connected with other people who offered opportunities, all those things have mattered in me being able to get to this place.
It has. So you skipped. I mean, you have books. You're a best-selling author. I mean, in addition to this, you're a best-selling author. So you know you're starting to speak, you're learning this, but you write a book somewhere in between there. So when did you write the book, and then in between there, when did you quit your job? So how long did it take between you getting on that first stage, writing a book, and quitting your job?
All right. So I actually have written, I'm a 12-time best-selling author. Just so everybody knows.
You're so fire. You are fire.
Because I'm not playing. As long as I have life and breath in my body, I have work to do. I have people's lives to impact. I have a fingerprint to leave on this world. You're going to know who Dr. Cheryl Wood was. One way or another, you're going to know, because that's me being on divine assignment. Every single one of us has a divine assignment, and we're supposed to take our unique fingerprint, our DNA that nobody else can duplicate. And we're supposed to leave that on as many people as we possibly can before we take our last breath. So for me, I take that very seriously. I take it as a responsibility. I know that there are people who are waiting to hear my voice before they'll ever move forward towards their destiny. So when you know that, you can't keep that to yourself. You can't keep quiet. That's why I can't shut up. But for me, I started the t-shirt business in 2009, had the first speaking engagement in 2010, really made the decision I wanted to be a speaker in 2011. I didn't leave my job until 2013. Okay, so 9, 10, 11, 12. That's about 4 years later, I walked away. Honestly, I walked away prematurely. I wasn't ready. My bank account wasn't ready. I hadn't learned how to monetize this thing called speaking. So I was out of work for maybe a year, and then I had to go back. And a lot of people didn't know that I had to go back, because I was like, my kids want to eat 3 meals a day. Like, I gotta feed these kids. So I went back for about a year and a half, and I knew that's not where I belong. I just knew it. Even when I went for the job, this is the funny part. When I went and interviewed for the job, it was supposed to be like a temporary job, like 3 months. Well, when I got in there, and this is not bragging or egotistical, I was so good at my job because I had done it for 15 years that I could easily get a job. So when I was supposed to leave after that 3 months of that temporary assignment, they were like, oh, can you stay? We don't want you to leave. We want to make you the executive legal assistant, the right-hand person to the general counsel of Amtrak. That's where I was working. That was my last stint in corporate America. I was the executive legal assistant to the general counsel at Amtrak. So every day I'm hobnobbing with the CEO, the CFO, the board of directors. Like, I was really skilled at what I did. But when I walked in and they asked me to stay and support the general counsel, I said, okay, I'll stay, but I just need y'all to know I'm not going to be here long, because what I'm going to be one day is I'm going to be a world-renowned international speaker. And I know they had to think I was a little crazy, Shelly, because who comes into a job interview talking about, but I ain't going to be here long now. I need y'all to know my big dreams. But I spoke that life into my dreams over and over and over again. And so I stayed there literally for a year, and I could feel myself getting used to something called direct deposit. I was getting used to direct deposit again. And I was like, Cheryl, you're getting off track. You said you wanted to go in a completely different direction. You already know that you have a voice. You just haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. Don't get caught in this trap again. And so I stayed for another 6 months, and then I left. And I was like, I don't care what it takes. I am going to learn how to sell. I'm going to learn how to monetize my gift, my voice. There is no way God gave me this gift. And everybody has their own unique gift. For some people, it's baking pies. And you'd be like, girl, you put your foot and your toe in that pie, right? Or it's speaking, or it's coaching, or it's numbers, crunching numbers and doing financials for people. Everybody has their unique gift. For me, it is oratory skills. It's communication. And I knew that was my gifting. So if God gave me the gift, and if I serve a God of abundance, how can I possibly say that there's no way for me to create abundance with the gift that he gave me? That just doesn't even make sense. So when I really looked at it from that way, I'm like, no, you just have to challenge yourself to do the things that you don't like to do. I didn't like selling. I hated it. All I wanted to do was speak and serve. But you can't have a successful business if you're not generating revenue. So I hired a sales coach. There goes the coaching again. I hired a sales coach. Teach me how to sell. Teach me how to get comfortable selling. Teach me how to get comfortable speaking about money when I'm serving people, and make me understand that it's okay to sell even when I say I'm serving. That was a whole process. So that literally was my process. Now, in between that, the book, I actually wrote the book in 2011. Remember, at the top of 2011, I said I knew that I wanted to be a speaker, and that was my whole year of experience and exposure. Well, midway in, I think it was June of 2011, that's when I published my first book. And I made a decision from that moment forward that I was going to write a book every year that I was in business. Well, I've been in business 11 years, and I have 12 best-selling books.
Okay, what was the name of the first book?
How I Flatlined and Woke Up in 45 Days. And what it was an overview of how I felt like I had flatlined in my life, like lost my heartbeat because I was existing, not living. And that was my process of going to a job that didn't nurture my spirit or fulfill me, dropping my kids off at 6 a.m, not picking them up till 6 p.m, just feeling like I was just in this existence in limbo. That was the flatline part. But how did I wake up out of that? How did I jolt myself out of that? And it was 45 days of powerful tips, mind-changing, mindset reshifting tips that I put in that book that helped me to go from that place of just existing to making a decision that I was going to be courageous and tenacious enough to pursue the things that I wanted, even when they scared me. So I took those 45 tips that I applied to my own life, my own mindset journey, and I put it in a book, and I sold it to other people.
That's how you do it. And then 12 books later, best-selling author. And I mean, your story is amazing. So we all have 24 hours a day, right?
Yes.
But how do you make the best of your 24 hours in a day to get all those things done? Because to write a book, create a business, to get the coaching, I'm finding it difficult to do all of these things, because people say, oh, you just have one job, but it's more than one job, because you have to create the systems behind it. How do you maximize your 24 hours in a day?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm so glad you asked that question, because I'm kind of like a no nonsense coach. Like, don't give me your excuses. And the only reason I'm that way is because I know how much I've had to press through to get here. So when I started, again, I'll remind you, I was working a full-time job. My full-time job was not an 8-hour job. When you're working for attorneys and people who are C-suite, you are there until they're there. If there's a project that has to go out, if there's something that we're working on, guess what? A briefing, I have to be there. So if it's 10 hours, it's 10. If it's 12, it's 12. I was raising 3 young kids. My kids now are 12, 13, and 16. So you're talking 11 years ago. So they were babies. That's 2, 3, and 5, right? So I was raising kids and nurturing my marriage, which my husband and I will be celebrating 21 years together next year.
Oh, wow.
And building a business. So I'm working a full-time job. I'm raising 3 children. I'm nurturing a marriage, and I'm building a business. So you ain't nothing you can tell me about the fact that you can't decide how you're going to manage your time, your use of time. Yes, we all get 24 hours, but all of us are not as responsible with our 24 hours as we could be. So for me, I said, what are the things that are distracting you? that's going to keep you stuck where you are instead of moving towards where you want to be. I turned the TV off. I stopped watching Real Housewives. Like, guess what? They got their money. They got their money. They got their coins, their bag. Are you securing your bag? I stopped hanging out with the girlfriends. Hey, we going out to hang out at the lounge, at the restaurant, at the whatever. Let's just hang out. And we just throwing away valuable time. I pulled back from some of the long-winded conversations I was having with friends on the phone. Like, every pocket of time that I could reclaim, I started reclaiming. Here's another thing. I got up earlier than most people. So you still rolling around in the sheets at 9. I've been up since 5. And I would stay up later than most people. So you going to bed at 10. I'm not going to bed till 2 a.m. So what I realize is that a lot of people will never live the life that they want to live or create the reality that they want to create because they're not willing to sacrifice. So I was willing to sacrifice turning the TV off, saying, no, I can't hang out with friends, getting up earlier than most, staying up later than most, coming home after a long day's work, getting my kids and my husband fed. And I put my husband in that link, in that whole bundle with them, getting the husband and the kids fed. And then I'd go back out the door and go to a networking event. So I maximize every moment of my time. And I've done that for the past 11 years. And that's why it looks like, I had one of my clients the other day say, you make it look so easy. It ain't easy. Oh, trust and believe. But I understand I'm either going to sacrifice now or I'm going to sacrifice later. Am I going to sacrifice the work and the time and the effort and the energy to put in now so that I can live a life later where I kick my feet up? Or am I so busy trying to have fun and kick my feet up now? And then in my older years, I got to work like a dog to be able just to live, or I'm dependent on Social Security. No, I didn't want to live that life. So I just made a decision. I'm going to sacrifice now in my younger years so that when I'm in my 60s, my 70s, my 80s, I can kick my feet up and I can look back at the amazing work that I've done, that God has positioned me to do, and the lives that I impacted and touched. And my bank account will take care of me, and it will be reflective of all the years of work I put in and sacrifice I did earlier.
You just said everything that was in my spirit. I was just telling my sister, I said, relationships have suffered. A relationship has suffered because the moment COVID hit, I said, I'm not married. I may be in a relationship. I'm not married. But the most important thing right now is shutting out everything and focusing. If it's meant to be, it will, but I have to do this now. I can't sit here and wait and say, because I've been in relationships and if I'm not married. So if I have to put this to the side to do everything you just said, focus now, because there's no pension for us as entrepreneurs. There's no pension. We have to make that kind of money to be able to say, this is my pension. I've made my pension. And I felt guilty. I've been feeling very guilty. Yo, I feel like I'm about to cry right now, but I'm just serious. I felt very guilty. Like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should reach back in. And because I saw a post today from this particular person that said, I want the old school women who could do a job, who could take care of the man, who do this and do this and do this. And I was like, and so internally I was thinking, maybe I'm wrong, but no. You need
to respond to that post and go ahead and find her, boo. Go ahead and find her.
Thank you. Talk about, because you can replace. I'm going to find a replacement. And I was sitting there like, you just confirmed everything I was thinking, because I was feeling some type of way. Like I really was.
Even my sister, and my sister and I are like this. I mean, we're twins. We're 2 minutes apart, and we have a tight relationship. But even she used to kind of tease me, like, "Dang, I mean, all you do is work," or "Dang, you can't even talk to me on the phone." Or she would joke if she got me on the phone and be like, "Oh my God, I got Cheryl Wood and Powers on the phone. I can't believe it," because she knew I was no nonsense. I don't have time to just chit chat. I got business to do. Because see, she was still working a full-time job. So you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. I'm not. I gotta earn my stuff. And I have a family to take care of, and I have a lifestyle that I want to live, and I want to travel the world, and I want to speak into the lives of people across the world. That don't come for free. That ain't free. I haven't been able to travel to South Africa, to India, to France, to all these places, the United Kingdom, without money in the bank account. I had to have money in the bank account to finance these opportunities for myself and my family. My kids are all 16 and under, and they've been on the soil of South Africa.
Ooh.
They've been to India. They've been to Paris, France, and they would have been somewhere else this year, but COVID stepped in, because my goal was to take them on an international trip every year. That is not free. So for me, it's like, yeah, I got to shut some things out, some distractions out so that I can stay laser focused on monetizing my gift, but also understanding that my tomorrow is not promised. And so I can't put legacy off until tomorrow. Your legacy has to start today, because you're not promised life and breath in your body tomorrow, Shelly. I'm not promised life and breath in my body tomorrow. So if I put my legacy creation to the side for somebody else because of what their expectation is of me, then how do I know my legacy ever gets created?
Fire. I'm serious. Like, you just, there's a reason for everything. So let's talk about your coaching. You are now a coach. People can hire you to coach them, right?
Yes.
Can't they do that now?
They can, yes. I wanted to make sure I had gone like kind of like this full gamut of speaking. So for a long time, people used to ask me, why don't you teach speaking? Because I wasn't ready yet. I needed to make sure that I understood what it was like to be a broke speaker and what it was like to be a very highly well-paid speaker who had traveled the world, not just locally, but globally. And so now I have that experience. So for the past probably like 4 or 5 years, I've been teaching speaking, really literally coaching women into the power of sharing their story, getting on stages and creating an experience. Anytime anybody hears me speak, I hope that they feel like they just had an experience. Not that they just heard another speaker, but there was something that was moved in them. There was something that made them want more, crave for more, or believe that they could do the thing that they had been dreaming about. That's an experience. So I teach women, speakers and entrepreneurs and coaches and authors, how do I create an experience? How do I maximize the use of my voice while I still have life and breath in my body? How do I make sure I touch as many lives as possible with my story, with my expertise, my life experiences? Because everything that you've been through, it is for somebody else. That's why you'll hear me say constantly, your story is about you, but it ain't for you. It's about you because you went through it. You went through the turmoil. You went through the financial trauma. You went through the broken relationship, the divorce, the whatever the thing was. You went through it. So it's about you, but it ain't for you. It ain't for you because you're supposed to come back and take all the lessons that you've learned and you're supposed to share it with someone else so that that sister or that person or that brother is able to move forward through their own journey. And so that you can let them know you're not by yourself. I've been through this too. Let me show you a clear path of how you can get to the other side as a victor, because I was able to withstand that thing that was supposed to break me. Every one of us has something that was intended to break us. It tried to break us.
It tried.
Right? And you were able to break through the thing that was meant to break you. And now you're standing here on the other side of it as a victor. Like, man, I'm still standing. I made it through. How dare you keep that good, juicy stuff to yourself? That's selfish if you don't share that. And that's why I say every person, you are the prescription to somebody else's pain. You're the prescription. Now imagine if you went to a physician's office and you told him, doc, my shoulder been hurting for a month. I finally came in because I'm in so much pain. I can't take it no more. And the physician looks at your shoulder, assesses it, does the little triage and says, oh, I know exactly what's wrong. And by the way, I know exactly what prescription to write for it so that you don't have to be in pain anymore. But you know what? I think you're strong. I'm not going to write you the prescription today. Why don't you go head back home, deal with it for a couple more weeks, a couple more months, see how it goes. I think you'll be fine. You would think that physician was cray-cray. You would probably be calling somebody at somebody's bar, medical association, something to report this person, because you're in that business for a reason, so that you can specifically write prescriptions for people's pain. Every single one of you who's watching, including Shelly and including myself, every single one of us are the prescription to somebody else's pain, because you've already been through something that they're currently struggling with, and they're looking for an answer. But you're so busy keeping it to yourself, not sharing it, or feeling like you're not good enough, or you're not qualified, or all the crap we tell ourselves about why we don't speak up about what we know. And so somebody else, you just sent them back home to be in pain, to continue in pain, because you won't share your mess. So I take that as a responsibility, and I take it as a responsibility to teach other women how to turn their mess into a message for someone else for their healing.
So how do they? I went to your website, and then I'm going to get to the next question about your website. So I went to your website. So how do they hire you or become a student of your services?
Yeah. So for me, there's 2 things that I do. I do some individual coaching. I do some training sessions that you have to follow me on social media, because I'll pop up and like, hey, I'm doing a 6-week training, or I'm doing a 30-day training. And that's because I have to balance that in between still being a mother, still being a wife, but also growing this business. So I do a lot of paid speaking. So I have to balance that in between. So you may not see it specifically listed on my site, but what I'll do is I will market things as I'm going to facilitate them or host them. So if you're looking for like my workshops and things that I'm going to facilitate on my own, just stay connected through my social media, which is at Cheryl Empowers. I'm always posting stuff on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me. If you stay connected, you're going to know exactly what I'm doing. In a couple weeks, in about 25 days or so, I'll be doing my SpeakerCon virtual conference. And so at that conference, I'll be sharing one of the ways that people can work with me through my Vocalized Women Speaker Certification Program and some other things that I have coming out. So in this final quarter, you'll see a lot of announcements about ways that you can work with me. And for those who say, well, I just want your one-on-one time, I want you to coach me individually, I have these Cheryl Fix My Speech sessions, because Ayanla fixes your life. I don't fix your life. I fix your speech. So I have those opportunities available. They would just have to email me, CherylEmpowers@gmail.com. I'm giving y'all my direct email, CherylEmpowers@gmail.com. And we can set up a discovery session that'll allow us to see if we're a good fit to partner together for me to walk you into sharing your story.
I'm excited. It's crazy. I wish I had met you a month ago. I just paid for Les Brown's his whole system.
Awesome.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, but you're worth it.
I am worth it, but I wish I would prefer, honestly, I would prefer to, like, you know what I mean? I'd rather have the connection.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So this is like a great foundation for you. Les is, he's like one of the most amazing speakers in the world. He's been doing this thing for 40 plus years. So there are things that he can teach you that I can't teach you because I haven't been doing it for 40 years. So everything is always divinely orchestrated and in divine timing. And so I think that's great that you signed up for that, because you're going to get a great foundation. And then you move from that foundation, and who only knows, you and I will end up working together. But you're starting with a guru, a master who's been doing it for 40 years. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh, okay, great. That makes me feel so much better.
Absolutely.
And so I was on your website, and I couldn't help but to notice that I saw a picture of you popped up, and I see the difference. I just want you to share your journey. Like, I have been on a weight loss journey for a few years now, and it's a struggle. It is a struggle, but I noticed that you have transformed not just your whole speaking career, but you transformed your body. And what was that process like?
Yeah, so I'm so excited to share that I have released 76 pounds. So exciting, 76 pounds. You don't even, sometimes you don't even realize it, I think, because you get so used to the weight. It's not healthy for you. It doesn't feel good, especially for me. I'm 5'3". So that much weight on my body, even now, I'd really like to release another 40 pounds. But I'm happy for the 76. But it has been the hardest thing I've ever done. It has been getting control over what I put in my mouth, asking myself, why are you eating right now? Are you hungry, or are you just used to snacking? Is it just something that soothes you when you get sad, when you get happy, when you get mad, when you get whatever? Are you going to food as the thing that comforts you? And I did that a lot. And I did a lot of like late night snacking and stuff, just because it was just a habit. And so you have to really want it. I went on this amazing but very, very difficult journey of kind of eliminating like carbs and sugars from my life. Man, let me tell you, when you pull them carbs and sugars, it's like a drug. It is literally like a drug. You have to go through a detox. And I went through a detox where I felt like I was on real drugs. Like, I don't know what that feels like, because I've never done drugs, but I felt like I knew what it was like, because sugar is a drug. It's very, very addictive. And so I was addicted to the potatoes and the rice and the bread and the candy bars and the sodas. And now I haven't had a soda in over a year. I still have some of the foods that I enjoy, but very minimally. Portion control has been huge. Getting some exercise in. But I'll say, even with the exercise is great for shaping and toning, but the food is what's going to release the weight. It's what you put in your mouth. And you figure, when we go to these places, not only is fast food stuff normally the most unhealthy food that we can get our hands on, they're not serving you salads. They're serving you French fries and, burgers with cheese and onion and all of the stuff that piles on top of it. And then you add to that the soda, and then you look at the sizes that they give us here in the United States. It's not like that when you go to South Africa and you go to India, you go to these other countries. They don't give you those huge sizes. Like what? But here in the United States, They give us these huge portion size, and then you get used to drinking it and eating that whole portion size, and that just keeps the weight on. So yeah, so I just made a decision. And go back to that quote that I stated earlier: real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. And for me, the new action was, Cheryl, you got to do something really, really drastic, just like you did when you walked away from your corporate job to do something you had never done before. You got to get that drastic about your weight, your health, your wellness. Because look, I got 3 kids to raise. I got a whole bunch of money waiting to be made still. And I want to be able to get that money and secure the bag and raise my kids and travel the world, which means I need my wellness to be on point the same way my business is. So yeah.
Well, I'm like I said, totally admire what you're doing, what you did. But how did you step on the stage? Me coming from a plus size woman, how did you step on the stage? So I guess when you first stepped on the stage, the weight was there. How did you feel comfortable with stepping on the stage and being the speaker with the weight?
Oh, because I was always fine.
Yes, honey. Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, I was always fine. Like, that didn't change just because I was thicker. I'm like, and my husband, he didn't complain. He never complained. So you couldn't tell me I was still fine. Like, I kept myself up. When I went to these speaking engagements, I got my makeup done. I always, had on these I would go to these boutiques and get these beautiful dresses. And so I still felt good in my own skin, even 76 pounds thicker than I am now. I still felt great in my own skin. Did I want change? Yeah, but I didn't feel any kind of way about the fact that I was on stage as a plus size woman. That didn't bother me. I think it bothered other people more than it bothered me. I mean, I had people who would come to me and be like, oh, that's just so great that you're a plus size woman and you on stage. Okay. I thought that was weird. I thought it was weird when people would say that, because I was just me. I was just walking in my gift. To me, my dress size had no indicator on the impact that I could make. None.
But you didn't see it often. Honestly, I guess people say that because you don't see it often. You didn't before. Right. There was a moment in time. I've been to a lot of conferences too. Right. You didn't see that often. You don't see it often. You will see it now, but you didn't see it often.
Oh, well, I don't know. I guess God gave me something different, because I was like, honey, I'm fine. I'm about to get on this stage and drop the microphone on them. They ain't gonna know what hit them.
You said, listen, I'm just going to speak. I'm fine. I feel you. I feel this thing.
Yeah, I was so committed to my purpose that my dress size didn't even pop up in my mind in terms of me not walking into my purpose because of my dress size. I love the way Lisa Nichols talks about it, because, when she started, she was heavier set.
She was heavy, yeah.
Yeah, and she says, if I had waited until I lost the weight, then the secret would have been the secret. I would have been the secret. She said she would have been in the secret. She said, I would have been the secret. So you can't wait until you look the right way or look the right part or whatever the expectation is from the world. You got to know that you're on divine assignment. And I'm telling you, there's something different that happens to you when you're very clear that you're on divine assignment, that people are waiting for you, and that there's no way that you can keep their prescription from them. You just don't focus on some of the dumb stuff. I'm sorry, I got to call it what it is. Some of the dumb stuff that other people focus on. I'm like, I wasn't focusing on my weight. I was focusing on the words that came out of my mouth that was going to empower and motivate, inspire someone else to create transformation in their own life. That's what I focused on.
Thank you, Coach. Look, I'm putting it. Thank you, Coach. We'll put that in this atmosphere right now. We are running out of time, but I want to make sure people know more about SpeakerCon, how they can get tickets, how they can get involved. Tell me about SpeakerCon.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. So I've been doing conferences for probably the past 6-7 years, probably a little bit longer, but I'm gonna say officially, my annual conferences for the past 6-7 years. And last year I just made a decision. There goes the decision thing again. So huge and a lot of people were offended because I stopped doing this one conference that I used to do called Playtime is Over. It was Playtime is Over Women's Business Conference. I did that for 4 years, and people were like, no, you can't not do that anymore. But there comes a time when you have to shift. And God will give you a vision to shift. And some of us stay stuck because we will not move when he says move. And last year he gave me the vision for SpeakerCon, because I really wanted to solidify my expertise as a master speaker development coach who was going to usher more women into sharing their voice and sharing their story. And I wanted to take that again seriously. That's what I want my fingerprint to be in the world, that she was this amazing woman who ushered all of these hundreds of thousands of women all across the world into sharing their voice, pursuing their possibilities, speaking up about what they know, getting in front, coming to the front of the room and staying instead of staying in the back of the room. And so I said, I'm going to do this conference. It didn't exist. There was no con. Like there's a con for everything. There's like a cookie con. There's a
T-shirt con. There's a t-shirt con.
There's a con. And I kept saying, well, where's the con for speakers? Where's the SpeakerCon? And it didn't exist. And I couldn't believe it didn't exist. I'm like, no way nobody has thought about this. And God just kept tapping me on the shoulder with the vision. Probably for 2 years, he tapped me on the shoulder with the vision. And I just kept, I'm not the one. There's other speakers who have been doing this for 40 years. Why would I be the one to launch the SpeakerCon? And finally, I got over that head trash and just was like, just do it. He gave you the vision for a reason. Launched it last year, was amazing. We had nearly 300 people who came from all across the country to come to this event. It is the event where new, emerging, and aspiring speakers, as well as entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, consultants, say, I want to learn how to master, maximize, and monetize my voice, that I will not be quiet about the things that I know, that everything that I've learned through my mistakes and my failures, as well as my successes, I'm going to speak up and share it so that it blesses someone else. That's what SpeakerCon is about. If you're the person who's ready to come to the front of the room, you know that there's value in your voice, and maybe you haven't solidified how you're going to share it, or maybe you need some tools and some resources or some connections to learn how to move forward. This is the place that you're going to be. So it's Friday and Saturday, November 6th and 7th. It's all virtual. It's the virtual experience this year. We'll probably hopefully be back live next year. But we have secured such amazing experts who are coming to join us. Dr. George Fraser will be one of our speakers. Mickey Taylor of Essence Magazine will be speaking about finding the purpose of your voice. Bershawn Shaw, Andrew, I never forget, always jack up his last name. Andrew Nugent of BYOB, Build Your Own Brand, will be speaking. Delatoro McNeil will be speaking. Man, the list is just on. It's crazy. I'm just like, I can't believe I got all of these people.
I paid for Delatoro's class too. And when I saw that on your list, I said, am I just rolling in the right way? I got Delatoro's class like two months ago. And I was like, I'm just rolling. I'm rolling here.
Yeah. Everything is meant when you're supposed to be there. Like, what they say, what's that saying, that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear or will arrive. And so each step in your journey, each season, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're under the tutelage of who you're supposed to be under the tutelage of. It all works in divine orchestration. And so SpeakerCon, we're excited. It's going to be 2 full days of rich content, reminders, resources, connections, networking. So the general registration is free at SpeakerCon2020.com, or you can opt for the VIP or the elite ticket, and that has a small price point attached to it. But even if you just want to come in and just listen, you can do that at no cost. SpeakerCon2020.com.
SpeakerCon2020.com. I will be in the building as a media
partner.
Woo! Listen. I'm so excited. I feel like you said, divine. It's just, everything is divine. I see God's steps and footsteps and everything in his preparation. I even had a vision one night. It was so powerful. Like, I had a literal vision that I was on stage and I saw myself take a bow. I saw people cheer, and I woke up like, that was me. Like, you know what I mean? Normally my dreams, it may be somebody else, but I saw me clearly, that it was me on the stage. And I was like, that was me.
Yeah. Time to come to the front of the room. That's it. That's it. When you know it's time, because the thing keep tapping you on the shoulder. It will not leave you alone. It comes to you in dream. It comes to you as a vision. You'll be around the right people who will be talking about it and encouraging you to do it. So you're getting all the signs that it's time for you to be at the front of the room, period. That's it.
Yes, all the signs. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on 30 interviews in 30 days. I appreciate you. I really, really do. Everybody go to SpeakerCon 2020 to be a part of it. Get the upgrade. Be a VIP. Upgrade. Be like Beyonce. Upgrade. Oh, no. But thank you so much. Follow her on Instagram as Cheryl Empowers. And just really be in the community, because I'm right there. I'm right there watching you right now.
I love it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have an awesome and amazing day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I know I did. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. 30 interviews in 30 days. I thought that Okay, I was wondering. I was going to sit here. What's going on? You sleep today? So 30 interviews in 30 days. Tomorrow is CC Minton. She is an award-winning advocate. She actually worked with President Barack Obama. That's tomorrow. I'm telling you, power. This week is fire. It's such fire. I can't wait to see the fire that's coming through. I'm telling you, I want you to tune in every day. Like, even if you can't do it at 1 o'clock, if you are an entrepreneur, I bring you entrepreneur stuff, business, people who want, that is my interest. That is what I love. And like I said, I'm so excited about that fight. I'm telling you, that's supposed to cost you. And it was free. You know what I'm saying? That the information there. What's going on, DJ Kid Disco? We on the grownfolksradio.com. What's going on, DJ Kid Disco?
I thought that was hot. She really had a lot to say. Like, I like that whole, I don't care what I look like. I don't care what I'm supposed to be here. You're supposed, like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it is hard
Right.
to speak.
Hmm.
It is hard to speak to people and to grab people. That's not a,
I just want you to know you say yes. You understand? Even when you're supposed to say no, you say yes. You say yes. You say yes. You don't let an opportunity go by. You say yes. I've made it. I talk about making a decision. I remember I made that decision that I will say yes. Yes. I'm not turning down this. Yes. No matter how fearful I feel, no matter whether I don't feel like I'm supposed to be, I'm not good enough. Yes, the answer is yes. Because I'm supposed to be in the room. I'm supposed to be there. 30 interviews in 30 days is for a reason. And then in the book, The Media Hustle, it's going to be in there why I did 30 days, what I learned about the 30 days. It's all a part of a process. It's not just, hey, I want to do 30 interviews in 30 days. I want to do 30 interviews in 30 days to empower you, but I did 30 interviews in 30 days to show you that if you step out of your way, you step out of your own way, big things are going to happen. And things that you want, they manifest. God will show you everything I thought in my spirit. And I'm going to tell you, I got people the doors that open. I'm telling you, this is the thing. So the answer is yes. Do you want to speak on my platform? The answer is yes. Do you want to be interviewed? Yes, that's the answer.
oh boy, here we go.
I'm just saying.
This is go with, she said me.
Just saying. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Let me ask you something. Let's go relationship. Thank you so much. 30 interviews, 30 days, thegrownfolksradio.com. Let me ask you a question.
Uh,
If someone says, I don't like new school women, I like old school women who knew how to be the boss and take care of their home, do you feel that is um, derogatory, negative?
yeah, what's a new school woman, first of all?
Exactly. Exactly. Let me read this. Let me read it word for word to make sure I'm saying it exactly right.
Is
I
this
feel like it was a very negative thing to say.
up? Back up. You read somebody else's stuff, or is this?
Oh yes, it's somebody else's stuff. Why? Why did you say that?
Oh, all right. I don't want you putting nobody on blast.
No, I'm not. It's not about that. I'm just asking. You know how we ask regular questions in life. You're asking questions.
I think that was, yeah.
I don't want new school women. Give me an old school woman who knew how to be a boss at a job, raise a family, and maintain a relationship. A new school woman can only do one or the other. Hmm.
I mean, is that a man or a woman saying that?
Well, I don't want to put anybody on blast. I'm just asking those questions. What do you feel about that statement?
Never mind, I already know by that answer. That's a dude. Ain't no woman gonna say nothing stupid like that. That's a man. I think that's stupid. It's chauvinistic. It's you. They want a woman barefoot and home and
Move closer to the microphone.
oh, what? My mic is low. My new mic is low. We not having that. Let me
You gotta
turn.
move closer to the mic.
Yeah, all right. Not this. Nah, not this powerful joint. Thank you, Joe Pardo. I got the idea from you. Anyway, um, I think that was a stupid statement. I think it was chauvinistic, or what do you call it, sexist. I didn't know that there was new school versus old school. I thought people do what works for them.
Exactly. Which is my thing is, how could you say something like that if a woman, period, new school, old school, if she's a woman and she's handling the business that she has to handle, taking care of her mortgage, taking care of everything she has to handle, it's a struggle. The struggle is real. You got to take care of your business. Are you seriously saying that that's a problem? A new school woman who's taking care of their business is a problem?
He probably, well, see, you gotta understand that sounds like an older gentleman who's used to that type of situation, or might have been raised by a woman who did it all. But just because you don't do a certain thing doesn't make you any less of a woman, or because that's bad too. Because now you're saying all the new school women, so-called, which I never heard that one before, but so they don't know how to cook, they don't know how to clean, they don't know how to maintain your relate. That sounds like somebody that needs what do you call it? A nanny more than a woman.
Because I feel like, just like she was saying, you gotta eliminate, if you have a focus, and when it comes down to it, if you're not married, if you're not married and you're not engaged and or anything like that, and you make a decision that I have to work hard right now, because when life shuts down, when COVID hits and things shut down, then you're sitting there. There's no backup plan. There's nobody saying, here, I'll pay all your bills, I'll pay your mortgage, I'll pay your car note, I'll pay your electric, water, gas, everything that embodies you, and you're going to downplay me because I make a decision to handle this business because I only have this amount of time to get this amount of stuff done, and I make a decision that I choose me. I choose me. I choose my future. I choose my legacy.
But here's the flip side of that. And I'm gonna use me and Carmen's situation as a prime example. Like you, I was already a DJ deep into it when we met. So I explained to her, look, this is what I do. I'm gonna be, hither and thither. So she understood. But what happens if you're already in a marriage or in a relationship and you decide to, which I made that decision, okay, I'm not going to work for nobody else. I'm going to work for myself. Ooh. Well, who's going to pay the bills? Well, who's going to do this? Well, who's going to do that? I can't do it all alone. So everybody is, okay, how can I put this? Because you've never had this discussion. Everybody don't see what we do as a stable job, as a stable income, they don't see it as like you can go on social media right now, you can go on Facebook right now and be like, oh, I got the job. You get a million likes. Oh, I left my job today to start my own company. Well, I don't know if that's such a good idea. Yeah. For what we do, it's hard to get people to understand because they seem to think, especially a woman like you, they still look at you as a woman. So like, well, you're supposed to have certain duties that you're supposed to handle, or certain this or certain that.
And I understand, but when it's that time, I've proven that I can do that. I can take care. I can take care of you. I can go cook a meal. I can cater to you. But in this moment, when COVID hit, I ain't got time for that. I don't have time to cook nobody's meal. I don't have time to. I want to focus. I want to stop. Like just like Dr. Cheryl said, I want to take all the chatter and put that chatter, all this unnecessary conversation, and put it towards something good, something that's going to build a legacy for the future. And I see it paying off. I see it paying off. I see it paying off. If I'd have sat there, chatter all day long, no, we've been there, done that. No, let me do this now so that my future, because I don't have a pension. I didn't have a job, I'm an entrepreneur. There's no pension. I got to build my pension. I got to build my pension. And I can't worry about all the other stuff. But I just thought that was a very derogatory statement.
Very derogatory, extremely derogatory. I'm hoping that wasn't a man, but I'm telling you, that's a man.
What do you mean? He said woman. He said I'm used to the old school women. Give me an old school woman. You think a woman is saying that?
Excuse me?
Give me an old school woman. Do you think a woman is saying that? There's a man saying that. Give me an old school woman. I'd rather have an old school woman than these new school women. Old school women can take care of the job, take care of the family. That was the statement. So who do you think said that? A man or a woman? That's a man that said that.
A woman can say that. Women are dealing with women these days.
They do. The gender doesn't matter about the gender. It's the information. Who cares what the gender is?
That's true. I just think I agree. It was a derogatory statement. They want somebody to take care of them. Evidently, that's what they're used to. So you got to remember, a lot of guys go right from mommy and daddy's house right to a woman taking care of them.
They do.
So they never had a chance to take care of themselves.
And there is a woman, and there are women out there who will take care of a man. They just want a man so bad that they don't mind taking care of. That's what they want. They value relationship. They value this, and this is what they want. I'm not that woman. I prefer to build my business. And of course, in time, maybe one day I want a life partner that we can chill and grow together. But in this moment right here, when COVID hit, all my clients are gone. All my money is gone. What do you go? God gave me vision. He gave me this and that. And I don't want to put negativity into the air. I just love. I feel like we can all just get along, but don't post. I mean, to me, anybody can post what they want, but I want to be positive. Positive is where I live,
So let me ask you this. Hypothetically, if you had been in a relationship, in a deep-rooted relationship, when COVID hit, what would you do?
That's what I'm talking about.
No. I'm talking about, let's say you was married.
If I was married, we struggling together. That means we in the same home, taking care of the same bills. But it's the difference. We're going to work together. We're married. Married is if I make a covenant, if I commit to make a covenant, I have said, I've gone down that aisle and said, yes, I will marry you. You will marry me. We together. That commitment is freaking next level commitment. If I walk away and decide to just do my own thing within a marriage, I need to be hit. That's not what I'm talking about. Inside of a marriage, you work together, you handle the bills together, you got the togetherness. Y'all handling them bills together. If you together, but if you single with your own home, your own car note, your own electric, water, gas, with cable, all these bills, you got to worry about how they're going to get paid. You don't got to worry. You give it all to God, because God said I will supply all your needs according to his riches, and he will. But I'm also not going to sit here and say, God, do this, and I not push forward to do what I need to do. But inside of a marriage, you better believe we're going to talk about it. We're going to work on it. What are we going to do about these bills? How are we going to get these paid? How are we going to get these paid? All right, this is the plan. All right, I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to work a little harder over here. But I still do this. So let's work together. You cook dinner one day, I'll cook dinner one day. Let's work together. That's in marriage. That means you made it. I've been engaged twice, plus a half of one. I don't know. We're going to say I've been engaged plus 2.5 times.
What's a half of an engagement?
Whatever that is. It doesn't even matter. But I've been engaged, physically engaged twice. And that didn't work. So in my mind, I'm like, I choose me. I choose God leading me to do what I need to do, and it's paying off. And that doesn't mean that I don't want a relationship one day. That doesn't mean I don't want that. But what means is at this particular time, I got, I have vision. Matthew said, hey, Matthew, many will be blessed by your life giving choice, and that is love for all. Thank you, Matthew. Faith Harty says, handle your business as you see it. Unlock your authenticity. Exactly.
I like that one.
Barbara Hall. Hi, Barbara. She said, Shelly Williams, is your time. It's your time. I've been playing too long. I put relationships ahead of life too long, or you fall in love and it doesn't work out. Fall in love, it doesn't work out, and I can love you, but the future.
But
I have no pension.
But as a married, am I an entrepreneur yet, or am I still a pup in training? Entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur if you don't have if that's what you're doing. You're an entrepreneur. You're a small business owner. What do you mean?
But I'm saying as married, you still have to hope that your spouse is on board with what you're trying to do, because
that's communication, right? You communicated. Y'all communicated. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. Y'all communicated that. She's on board.
Now, in the beginning, she was like, we need you to have a steady paycheck and with benefits. And it took me about 2 years to get her to trust me in that way. Because my wife is very regimented. She's used to a check every week, very, very regimented. So that was a hard sell.
That is a hard sell as a married couple. But I don't have to sell this. The only person that I have to, the Jesus, he directs my path. God is the one who orders my steps.
If you was to meet somebody,
my vision and provision come from God. So as a single person, God, I got to listen to what God is saying and how he's moving in my life, right? If he's saying the steps that were ordered were meant to be, I had to focus during that time. And I did limit my conversations. I did, and I need to do more of it. I need to, we could be right here talking. What I'm like, I gotta get to work. 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 I got to, because
working, y'all.
I gotta get to work. I have to limit conversations. I have to do, because it's when you're a solopreneur, you have to do a lot of the work yourself. Yes. You have to do your flyers yourself. You have to do your marketing yourself. You have to do the speaking yourself. You have to do a lot to build a business by yourself until you're able to hire an employee or employees. So right now we're in the process. I got to do a lot by myself. So it's not one job. It's 50 jobs in one. You got to do the public relations. You got to do the booking. You got to book your interviews. You got to research what you're talking about. You gotta. I write for 1, 2, 3 publications. I have 2 TV shows plus another web. You got to do your website.
2.
Then you got the website. Then we have the whole new venture of the grownfolksradio.com. Then that's a co-owners of a radio station. That's 11. That's not one job.
I got you. It's a con.
So that's not one job. It's not one job. That's a lot of jobs all in one. And yeah, no, I don't have to run around the city. I don't have to run and go place to place. I don't have to run
anymore.
Right?
Anymore, because we all used to have to.
Yeah, we had to do that, but it actually does on Saturday. Don't forget. The book signing for Rick Watson. The book signing for Rick Watson is at TGI Fridays, 2:00 on Saturday. So after I do 30 interviews in 30 days, I'm gonna run over to Friday, support Rick Watson. So there you go. We do it. Things we have to run again.
Wait a minute, isn't this Saturday single on the? Oh, that's next Saturday.
Single on a Saturday night is the 24th. On Monday, is Motivation Monday. That is with Robert E. Williams, and he's going to talk about accounting for small business and nonprofits. He's an accountant. And sometimes we forget about finances, how we're supposed to handle our finances, what we're supposed to do, making sure our books are straight. So we have an accountant on Monday at 7:30 p.m. So that's basically going to be 2 interviews in one day, but that's okay. So
Yeah, that
huh?
it's 32 interviews.
It's 32 because then we got a motivation. We got a single on a Saturday night on the 24th. But my thing is, it's not one job. You know, it's not one job. And to sit there and compare someone else's life to, I would never compare my life to anybody else's. Everybody's struggle is different. Everybody what they go through is different. I just wouldn't. I think however you handle your handle is how you handle it. Handle your handle. Don't put anybody else out there. You know. Don't put anybody else out there. Handle your handle, you know.
I think old school women as compared to new school women, I really would like that person to clarify what that means. That just makes no sense to me. Old school versus new school. I didn't know you. So new school women can't cook. That makes no sense. That makes sense.
No, old school women put men ahead of everything, and I think that's what you're saying. When you put a man ahead of everything.
Old, dumb women I don't think it have anything to do with old school and new school. I think dumb, desperate women put their man. Because if you do that, I've seen a lot of women over the years, over the decades, who do that, and they lose sense of themselves because they're busy trying to make that other person happy. They forget about what makes them happy.
Yeah, I've been there. I had, when she said what you go through is not for you, it's for somebody else. I've been through a horrible relationship, but I had one horrible relationship, but it was not for me. When I tell that story, it's for somebody else. There's a moment you caught me. How did you catch me at that moment? I wasn't paying attention. Jennifer Lewis, it was on, was it Unsung or Uncensored or whatever that was on TV1 last night. She said that she had a guy who was a con artist.
Yeah, she told that story on Charlemagne's show.
Oh yeah. She had a guy who was a con artist, and he kind of got $50,000. And she said, how did he get me? I wasn't paying attention. Sometimes you cannot be paying attention. It's not that you're a dumb woman, you're insecure, you're this. Sometimes you're not paying attention, and you could be in a moment and somebody catch you out there like that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, at any cost, I don't know. If he's doing absolutely nothing to contribute, now I'm not talking about financially because it's not always about financial. Okay, and especially in this day and age, a lot of women earn more than men. So let's get out of that nonsense that men get into. But if he's not doing anything, okay, so she earns more. She's at work. You're home earlier. You can wash the dishes. You can cook the food. I'm doing laundry now because I'm home. My wife took and put all the laundry at the top of the steps. That means
wash it.
Home, brother.
I get that. I get that 100%. But
nothing to contribute.
No, I'm not saying for nothing. Nobody has nothing. I'm not talking about. No, you could contribute. You could contribute. I'm talking about how Jennifer Lewis got caught out there. I'm talking about that particular situation.
I think she got caught because she really probably loved him.
She said she wasn't paying attention. She just wasn't. Sometimes you're not paying attention and you get caught out there. I was talking about that situation with Jennifer Lewis, how you get caught out there and you get the wrong person, the con artist.
If you take a man at any cost, I mean, if you keep putting your man or woman, but if you're keeping your man ahead of your dreams, what happens to you later on when, like, now you're gonna sit back and, wow, I want to do this, I could have did that, or you can say, I did it, or at least I tried to do it.
I feel like at least I tried. What God has for me, it is for me. God said, I know the plans I have for you, plans for good and not evil, plans to prosper you. He also said, I will supply all your needs according to my riches. He also said, love him, love God, put him first, be obedient to the Lord Jesus Christ. And I don't always get it right. But I'm striving every day,
But sometimes.
And I would never, ever put personal information or thoughts and negative thoughts out there like that. But you know, when you got a platform, you do what you do.
You get them. You know what? I had somebody just ask me on the platform the other night, how did you get to the hookups? How did you get the hookups that you got? How did you get? There is no formula. When God is ready for you to do whatever, if it falls, you just got to go with. There's no formula to building relationships. You just have to be at the right place at the right time and have sense enough to know that this is the right relationship to build or this is not the right relationship to build. Now, through trial and error, you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but
absolutely nobody is not worth it. But it is about that time. What time is it? I got to go to work.
She's always got something to do. I said, see y'all, she's always got something to do. Wait a minute, real quick. You complaining about my look.
Yes, I like to look better. Absolutely. Finally.
She finally. She likes my look. Usually she says, I can't. There's not.
You got the microphone, you got the chair, you got everything is it.
Chair for umpteen.
No, but I'm saying you could see it's real radio friendly. It's right there. It's right in your face, and that's how it's supposed to be. Yep.
Oh, it's radio.
You can take you can put something different in your background if you wanted to later. You can do whatever you want, but there it is, right there.
That's because I only got one camera. We only on one machine.
That's all you need. Who said you needed more cameras?
Well, I used to be on 2 and 3 machines at a time.
But doesn't make sense. Doesn't. To be right there.
Oh, I'm a geek, you know, man.
Because you be looking like you on the side. You be looking like you can't see it. But yes, I do like it. Thank y'all so much for watching, tuning in, being a part of the conversation. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God for everything he does. And let's get it. Let's get it. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Shameless plug. Got to do a quick shameless plug.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow is October the 13th, and it's a special day to me. So all day long, I'm doing a marathon on Grown Folks Radio. I'm going to have a different guest because my awesome therapist told me that I should be around friends and family and do the thing that I love the most. So I'm doing just that. So I'm going to be on the air all day long with different friends, new friends, old friends. And you're one of those people.
Absolutely. All day long tomorrow. We're going to celebrate the life of your
mom, Carol Davis. Carol Ann. She used to hate when we call her that. Carol Ann.
Oh, you want to say the whole name? Carol Ann. So we're going to celebrate the life. Yes, that she's in her heavenly state, and we're going to celebrate her life because her life had meaning. Her life brought you. This is all part of her legacy right here. So we're going to celebrate tomorrow. So all day long, starting what time?
10 o'clock with Dr. Letitia Webb.
Dr. Letitia Webb, 10 a.m. Oh, that's powerful.
Out with me, and then 12 o'clock is Frank's show, and then at 2 o'clock, when we get finished with your 30 minutes and 30 days, it's you.
Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow all day long. But tomorrow, please join us on the grownfolksradio.com. I'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock for 30 interviews in 30 days with Cece Minton.
Who's that?
She is an award-winning advocate. She's been advocating for health and wellness and all kinds of things. She's actually done work with President Barack Obama.
Wow.
So yeah. She's awesome and amazing. So that's tomorrow. That's the 13th. The 14th. We have so many people. I can't really call all their names off, but it's a fire week. We got some powerful women this week. So
real quick, question. How do you pick these people? Because everybody so far has had something really deep to say.
The Lord asked him to guide me to who he wanted me to talk to and who was supposed to be on. So there you go, the Lord, because it's divinely inspired. And I believe in celebrating the people. You don't have to necessarily be a celebrity. You're my celebrity. Whoever's my celebrity, you have a voice. You need to be heard. Let's support as people are doing what they do, and that's the whole point. So boom, I got a lot of work to do today. So we're gonna sign off from everywhere. The Facebook, the Grown Folks Radio. We're gonna sign off from all of those things. Peace out, y'all. What time of day is? I don't even know what time of day. Oh, it's 2:14. Yes. Right on target. Let's hear some music. Let's hear some music on the Grown Folks Radio. So if you're at work right now, listen to the music, vibe out. Thank you for being here. Vibe out to some great music. That was a power hour of just communication with some dope individuals. All right, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Peace out.